Calling my ex-husband while we were separated because I was having a panic attack and he was my safe person. Him coming to pick me up even though I was the one divorcing him. I completely understand this. I did it several times. I struggle with the sadness of the decision, but it was needed. So your ex-husband is needed, but he's your ex-husband. Mine didn't come. I go through them alone now, and it hurts every time. There is a disconnect happening where women are leaving their men yet expecting them to stay and keep performing their husbandly duties. Do you think if he called her having a panic attack that she'd even pick up the phone? Being expected to constantly provide and care for people who have given up on them is not good for men's souls and their growth. It is beating them down mentally. Even if it's not your intention, it is so incredibly manipulative to break up with a guy and then expect him to console you through.
All right, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You gonna give me a hug or what? Oh no, that's lame.
That's the traditional way.
Yeah, that's lame.
No, it's not. It's
Very
respectful.
Lame. No, lame.
No?
Lame.
Oh,
lame.
well, you can just sit down then.
Well, you can stand up.
Or you could just sit down.
Oh, I'm gonna walk out then.
Air hugs.
She didn't want to stand up. Typical feminist. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You got to play the game, guys. This is how women are nowadays. You know, they want to sit there and think, oh no, I'm not going to stand up. And it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to demolish you in this debate.
I just think marriage is a no. In today's day and age, I mean, there's obviously the tradition component if you're religious, but you know, when it comes to the government involvement and the potential financial ramifications of having to unwind a marriage, it does not make sense. So don't get married, guys. Don't do it. You do, but you could have a life partner, for example, but you just don't need the government involved.
Exactly
in that.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
And fully want the whole white picket fence. We are husband and wife, but I just don't feel the need to go and sign some paper that lets them know that we are.
Yep.
The whole life partner thing might be a nice idea for some people, but even without a formal contract with the government involved with a marriage license, the pitfall is that being together constitutes a common law marriage. How do you get around that?
Women are not desirable right now. Everyone's a Kim Kardashian clone. I asked you earlier, what don't men want? And you said promiscuity. Well, that seems about the only thing that's being offered right now. When I open my Instagram and I've got butt cheeks and I'm going, people are like, I don't understand why no one wants to, this woman's been married 4 times. I'm like, well, I can understand it, because even if men think they want it in the short term, when you see a girl, she's half naked, she looks good. Yeah, sure. You probably do want to have sex with her. I bet you're wired that way. You're hardwired that way. Yeah. But then what happens after you have sex with her and you realize that so did 20 other dudes
100%.
in the same week, you don't want her.
You nailed it. You're absolutely not.
Why would I get married? Why?
Yeah.
There's no actual reason to get married. It can complicate things. I have some friends that just have a woman they love and they had kids and they just didn't get married. I find them happier than those that get married.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like once you put the marriage title on it, there's just this
like
added pressure
too, right? Yeah.
that like the relationship doesn't need.
Did you hear about this new food that like completely destroys sex drive in women?
No.
Wedding cake.
Do you think that American women are unmarriageable?
Oh, this one's probably going to get banned, but I'm going to answer the question because she is asking a legitimate question, and I love that she is, to be honest with you, but I know my answer is going to trigger some people. The answer is yes, American women have become unmarriageable. And it's not really for the reasons you're talking about. You talk about being promiscuous and all that. Honestly, I could care less what somebody does. What it is they don't respect us. They don't respect us as men. They don't respect us as human beings. They have this preconceived notion of what we're supposed to be, which is perfect. They have all their criteria that no man could ever meet. And even if he managed to, they'd create new criteria that, again, he could never meet. So yes, marriage is done. We've walked away. Dating is done. We're done. That's where it's at. Enjoy.
Do you think that American women are unmarriageable?
Oh, this one's probably going to get banned, but I'm going to answer the question because she is asking a legitimate question, and I love that she is, to be honest with you, but I know my answer is going to trigger some people. The answer is yes, American women have become unmarriageable. And It's not really for the reasons you're talking about. You talk about being promiscuous and all that. Honestly, I could care less what somebody does. What it is they don't respect us. They don't respect us as men. They don't respect us as human beings. They have this preconceived notion of what we're supposed to be, which is perfect. They have all their criteria that no man could ever meet. And even if he managed to, they'd create new criteria that, again, he could never meet. So yes, marriage is done. We've walked away. Dating is done. We're done. That's where it's at. Enjoy.
Why men won't leave a marriage if they're unhappy. I've been asked this question a lot from women, and here's the honest truth coming from a man who once was in an unhappy marriage. Number one, we love our children. We would sacrifice our happiness any day of the week just to be near our kids and tuck them into bed. Another reason is they know that they'll be financially ruined if they leave. Even if they were the world's greatest husband, most courts would deem the benefits of the divorce to the ex-spouse by giving her alimony or child support, leaving him in a dire financial situation, which he will be crippled for the next 5 to 18 years. And last, truthfully, deep down we still love our wives, and we want things to be better.
What does a guy get from a woman that he couldn't get from a cook, a cleaner, and a hooker?
So this is what internalized misogyny looks like. This woman jumped out there and said the only thing that women bring to the table are cooking and cleaning and intimacy. See, pick-me's have to exist so that men can have women to point to and say, see, it's not just us. Women feel like this too. She don't represent us. Hey Siri, who lives longer, married men or single men?
Here's what I found from Harvard.edu. Statistics on marriage and health show that married men are healthier than unmarried or divorced men and are also more likely to live longer.
So while y'all out here worried about cooking and cleaning, good women out here adding years to your life. So why don't you go and see if you can get that from a cook, a cleaner, and a hooker?
So I understand what she's saying. So what she doesn't understand is that these men now, they're waking up. They're realizing, holy shit, if I get married, I could end up in divorce and she could take half my shit. That is the real question. See, what she's missing here, it's not that men don't want to get married, it's that men don't want to get fucked through divorce.
Do we need men? Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No?
We don't need short men.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do you need a man?
Oh, God.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No? Do we need men?
We need men to make us stupid.
Do we need men? Do we need men? Do women need men in this world?
Young liberal women are some of the least informed, most discriminatory people out there. And it's like, I look at single guys and honestly, I get it. If I were a guy single looking at like people like this as my dating prospects, I 100% would be running the other way. We'll see if these women are still so keen on not needing men 20 years in the future when all they have are their cats and their wine.
There is a discernible tendency in modern culture that many males are avoiding partnerships with modern women. This avoidance is a result of the belief that contemporary women are less devoted to conventional relationship norms and more concerned with achieving their own goals. Males frequently believe that these women view relationships as a game in which they manipulate others' emotions, moods, and even money. Men who are looking for marriage frequently envision a steady, tranquil life. But their encounters with contemporary women usually leave them feeling let down and frustrated. These women are thought to be conceited and incapable of putting their spouse's needs or family planning first. The increasing unwillingness of men to pursue marriage or long-term relationships can be attributed to their self-orientation and perceived lack of devotion to traditional marital duties.
One thing that we respect about a woman is how firm she is on her non-negotiables, because it's going to let us know how much effort that we need to put in. Like certain women that you run into, and as men, we know it, we could just do whatever. We could say whatever. We could be half-assed. We could be inconsistent. And we know that she's going to be there at our every beck and call. If we call at 3 a.m., she picking up. If we in this situation, hey, we need something, she coming through. But it's certain women that we know, yeah, nah, man, we got to like go about this the right way. she not playing. Like she said that, you know, this is what she expects, this is what she requires. And as a man, I got to climb up that ladder and get there. Or she will move around from me. And it's not even necessarily, oh, she got this many options or whatever, but it's just a matter of, hey, she's not tolerating anything that's outside of her non-negotiable list. And as a man, we respect that. And more times than not, when it's time for us to settle down, that's who we settle down with.
Due to changing gender roles and social expectations, the dating scene in the modern era has undergone tremendous change. Many contemporary women place a high value on their independence, personal development, and careers, priorities that may conflict with conventional marriage norms. There is now a gap between what men and women want from relationships as a result of this change. Males frequently believe that their expectations of emotional connection, shared aims, and reciprocal support are not fulfilled. Furthermore, there have been changes in the financial mechanics of relationships. The power dynamics in relationships have changed as more women become financially independent, challenging the traditional view of males as the main breadwinners. This shift makes some men uncomfortable because they believe their worth and function in a relationship are being decreased. And this uneasiness may cause one to be reluctant to date and get married.
Sexless marriage so damaging. In a healthy marriage, you have sex. And unless there are extenuating circumstances, a reason why that can't be, if both people are physically able to have sex, they should be. That is the mode of a healthy relationship. However, many of us get into what we call an intimacy withdrawal. It's like our bank accounts, our emotional accounts, our physical accounts, our relational accounts have become over withdrawn. We are in a negative balance. Leave a comment if this sounds familiar to you. Like, here's an example of what we often see. Sometimes maybe a wife and a husband will be home at the end of the day, and the wife wants to share something with her husband, and the husband's on his phone and he's checked out. And the wife does not feel heard and does not feel like her husband is.
Partner, spouse, husband, wife, they're supposed to be up here, above almost everything else, including yourself. So I know that if he doesn't want me to do something, he has a good reason for it. And I know that he has my best interest at heart, just like I do for him. So I can be independent, opinionated, and be my own woman while still respecting and listening to my man.
So many women are not reacting well to this, but she did not say, if my man says no, I listen. What she said was, I respect my husband because he respects me.
Time where you felt that you failed, that you learned a valuable lesson from?
That's such a hard question. Getting divorced was a big lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come? What happened?
For a long time, you know, like in your 20s and 30s, like getting married was a big goal, and I got married. And then I realized that that's not everything. And what I learned through being married was that knowing who you are, knowing your values, and knowing your non-negotiables is so much more important than anything else. It could be more important than the person that you love. And that was a huge lesson for me.
So do you think you didn't know yourself before getting married?
I think I didn't really know how important my values were to me before I got married.
What is true love like, in your opinion?
When I find out, I'll let you know.
Why did it not work, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I wanted to work so much that I was willing to overlook aspects of him and myself that didn't align with my true values.
Due to what they see as the institution's lack of intimacy, many men are delaying marriage. They think that some women might manipulate closeness to instill distrust. Men eventually stop interacting with and forming relationships with women as a result of this. Men are increasingly choosing to remain single and avoid committed partnerships due to their fear of being taken advantage of emotionally and financially. This draws attention to a major issue in contemporary relationships. It is getting harder and harder to build trust and a sincere connection. It is frequently asserted, and something some people regard as universal, that women need men more than men need women. Nonetheless, some women have been motivated by the Me Too movement and contemporary feminism to take on an independent and self-sufficient mindset that may come across as offensive. Because of this change, some women now perceive themselves as essentially distinct from men, exhibiting traits like increased emotional outbursts and an unwillingness to resolve conflicts. Furthermore, it is a common misconception that these women demand apology from males even if they do not think they are at fault. These factors play a part in the growing trend of males choosing to stay away from traditional marriage. They believe that the emotional toll is not worth the difficulties in managing relationships with women who display these characteristics. Many men are discouraged from pursuing long-term commitments because they believe that women no longer value teamwork and cooperative problem-solving, and they also believe that males should shoulder the responsibility of maintaining relationships. This changing environment emphasizes how important it is for men and women to communicate openly and understand one another. It is possible to close the gap and create relationships that are healthier, more balanced, and respectful of the needs and viewpoints of both men and women by acknowledging and resolving these issues.
There's been some great work on what behavioral markers predict divorce in couples counseling. Really solid work. Okay, so here's one predictor. When the couple is talking in front of a therapist and one of them or the other or both roll their eyes, there's like a 95% chance they're going to be divorced within 6 months. And that's contempt, eh? But here's another cool fact from that research. If you have people track the number of positive and negative interactions with their partner, you can calculate ratios, and then you can see what the ratio is that lends itself to the successful maintenance of a relationship. And so you might think, well, the more positive interactions, the better. And that's kind of true. So if it falls below 5 positive to 1 negative, the relationship is in danger.
Yeah.
But if it rises above 11 to 1, the relationship is also in danger. Well, you want support and love, and you want most of your interactions to be positive, but you want your partner to slap you now and then when you're being stupid.
This concludes our A4 Anonymous coverage for the day. Click that like button, please. Make sure you hit that notification bell in addition to subscribing. Leave a comment telling us what you think. Have a great day tomorrow.